Alright, this is Quasar 47, guest starring 90s 4, the god of blunder himself. I mentioned this two-parter when I unboxed that 4 epic collection, so here is a review of it. This is by Mark Griswold, and it lands in an awkward time in Quasar's series where Quasar didn't have his magic bracelets, but instead he had powers from a magic tattoo. And I don't mean the one from Fantasy Island. An ongoing joke in this series is that whenever we check in on the big baby in a nappy, he is narrating an issue of What If. One thing that isn't great is the art. I didn't like the way BBIAN is drawn here. Big baby in a nappy, BBIAN. And in general, the series never really recovered from Greg Batman being promoted to Excellent Force. After Greg Batman, Steve Lightbulb became the regular artist and then got fired after an issue and a half. And he was the most promising of the artists. Quasar has gone to BBIAN for information. He wants to know where his magic bracelets have gone. And he won't tell them directly. And he leaves. But he has left the answer on one of his monitors. Clever baby. He might be Boss Baby's cousin. Meanwhile, Quasar's quite boring girlfriend, Carly, she has been kidnapped by aliens. Again. But more importantly, Quasar, up here, he says... Where is it? Here we go. How am I going to shag all the way across the galaxy? Now that is the sort of comic I am up for. Space Austin Powers. And this is all set up for the big flop Quasar crossover called Starburst. I promised a long time ago to a viewer who I didn't think even watches anymore. I promised that I would get into Starburst one day, and I never did. It's not good. That is the soul-crushing thing of Starburst. I think one of the main problems is that issue 50 of this book, which I have already reviewed, that would have made a far better plot to expand into a crossover. And after that, Starburst just feels like a less interesting retread. Quasar, he goes to the Avengers to requisition some help, and I quite like this little scene. Marky Mark, I always appreciated in this and Captain America when he would have little appearances from the other Avengers. Even when Hercules Man has had a shave and looks off-model. And then we have this, and you have got to turn this page sideways to read, which I bloody love doing. There is nothing I love more than having to turn my comics sideways to read them. Quasar, he went to get 90s 4's help, but 90s 4 wasn't able to help him the way that he wanted, but he came along anyway, raising the question, why didn't Hercules Man also tag along? He has just as much to add as 90s 4 does. And so on their journey to get Quasar's magic bracelets, they are met by the OAPs of the universe, or rather, mostly the bad OAPs of the universe. Originally, there were 7 or 8 of these deities, and that worked. But when Steve Engeltine, and after him Marky Mark, kept introducing new ones, it really devalued the originals, and the new ones sucked. And it is mostly the new ones. We have the only 2 originals here are the other baby in a nappy. We saw him in Captain America Core. He was created by Jack Quimby. And we also have Camo Vaughn, the Possessor, as introduced in Gary Conman's run on 4. Subplot with Light Ray from the New Gods. I like this picture here of Light Ray. The art is inconsistent. That is the problem. And it really lacks the punch and style of Greg Batman. Cosmic fighting in space. Quasar and 90s 4. They end up fighting these cosmic gods. It is a guest appearance of 90s 4. So he is actually allowed to do a few things that make him look competent. That's always nice to see. Here is an all-new OAP of the universe. Never appears again after this issue. And after his debut, we have one of them pages that would work better with a more stylistic artist. Quasar, he gets his bracelets back, but when he is in the process of putting them on, the smaller baby in a nappy nicks one for himself. And this had apparently been his goal and objective in his previous appearances in the series. And here is a modestly cool standoff. Neat idea. They both have 1 bracelet each. And the dialogue is laced with plenty of fat shaming from Quasar. And so Quasar, he eventually overloads the baby's bracelet with Kwanzaa energy, causing it to implode and take his arm with it. And so Quasar, he reclaims both of his magic bracelets, the Kwanzaa bands, after almost 10 issues without them. Okay, splash page to end on. Nice to have the character back at full power. Quasar 47 is okay. There is enough good stuff in there, but there is also a bit of mess. The art is the real problem. Quasar's book is barely going to have a regular look for the rest of its lifespan, and it really hurts. Choice images in this are good, but overall, the characters look awkward and disjointed most of the time, including on this cover. I wish they had just gotten someone to continue or expand on Greg Batman's style rather than just getting whatever artist was available and willing to do the book. I'll rate this issue 7 things up.